Part 5 of Emotional Affair Outside, the final ending. She has not found a job. I have been using the van on the weekends, taking the kids to the river, etc. I guess that probably isn't fair. But my take is that she spent a car on her trip. The divorce papers are still sitting on the desk. I'm not pushing it at this point, for now. I am content with the way things are. Not really. I would rather have a loving marriage. That isn't going to happen anytime soon. This time apart has helped me to see a lot of things, though. I am growing as a person. The first week or two, I was hitting the bar every night I was off. This week, I have taken that time to chill out, read the book on helping the kids, do some work at my dad's farm, etc. I even rode the motorcycle to work today for the first time. My mind seems to be clearing up these past few days. I'm becoming more at peace with being alone. I am starting to see that I need to be comfortable with myself before I can truly be comfortable with someone else. I'm not going to be ready for a relationship anytime soon, so I don't see a rush on the divorce. I have a good deal of time with the kids. I have some free nights to do what I want. I thought yesterday that hunting season is coming up. I haven't hunted much in years, because I've always had so many responsibilities. Now, I have a few nights a week just to myself. I believe I'll start hunting again. It's kind of weird for me to think about what I like and what I want to do for me. There are so many options out there. Would I rather spend my time, energy, money, etc. on a woman that loves me and is equally committed to spending the rest of our lives together? You bet. Is my wife there? No way. Will she ever be there? I doubt it. Will I meet a woman who does meet that description? Yes, when I am ready. For now, I am working on myself. Not for anyone else. But for me, is that selfish? Maybe, maybe not. This isn't where I ever wanted to be, but I am learning to make lemonade. Another tough day today. She wants the van for the weekend to go out of town. Yes, I do know what that means. The single vehicle situation is almost fixed. Next week, we will have a second vehicle. That will allow me to not see her all weekend. The sharing the vehicle on the weekend has made for a lot of contact. For this weekend, I have a temporary vehicle lined up. Not a rental, just borrowed. My brother called me last night. He is a truck driver and is in Arizona. His wife wants to go dancing Saturday night with her friend and her husband. He asked me if I could get a babysitter and go dancing with her. I am considering it. Trust me, it would only be dancing. Nothing at all inappropriate with her. I was talking to her and the friend she will be going with while watching their kids practice football a few weeks ago. I told them with all those kids on the field, where is the single mom section? They laughed and said they didn't know. I'm thinking this dancing invitation may have more than meets the eye. Nothing at all with my sister-in-law or her married friend, but maybe them trying to hook me up with someone else. I'll play that by ear and see how my day of fishing with the kids goes tomorrow. The kids eavesdropped on my conversation with my brother. They know where she is and who she is with. I called his cell a few times. With no response, my daughter wanted to call. I left a message with "see you in a little bit." She called back to make sure I wasn't on my way. The kids talked to her. She is pissed that they know, of course. It is my fault for making them cry. Not hers for being there in the first place. Taking them fishing. Update later. Yes, divorce papers will be ready when she gets home. She either signs or I go to an attorney. Kids are doing great today. We had a great time at the river. Now for showers, supper, and off to see the Smurfs at the movie theater. My daughter, 9, asked me a bit ago, "Daddy, when you get divorced, will you get a girlfriend?" I said, "It will be quite a while, but someday I will." She said, "Good, I don't want you to single forever." She talked about a timeline, 5 years. I said I doubt it will be that long, 2 years, maybe 1 year, maybe 1 month, definitely not. We are getting divorced. I have completed the papers. I am considering meeting with her family and her to convince her to iron out the details and just file the damn papers without having to get attorneys involved. I have absolutely no interest whatsoever in reconciliation. Of course, she is going to continue her affair. Only, it won't be on my dime or my time. It will crash in months, I'm sure, but that is too late. It is too late already. I'm done. Don't worry. I'm not so ready to be done with it that I'll screw myself too badly in the divorce. If she gets a little more than she should, fine. I would have had to spend that on the attorney anyway. There isn't much there at all. After looking at all of our assets and all of our debts, the net worth is less than what I make in 6 months. That sucks. I once thought I'd be a millionaire at 40. Anyway, there isn't too much to split. The kids are going to school. She has to get a job. We're selling the house, etc. I'll be done with her altogether soon enough. One way or the other, meaning we file ourselves or I hire an attorney. I don't really care either way. I have worked out a plan that is acceptable to me. If it is acceptable to her, We will be filing within the next week. She blew a gasket last night, at the changeover. I didn't say anything to her until she went out to the van. I followed her out and told her the papers are on the seat. I also told her I'm registering the kids for school. She went back in and locked me out of the house. I knocked and the kids came to the door. She told them not to let me in. I should have just walked away at that point. Since she was putting the kids in the middle, I didn't. I told my daughter that it was my time and she wasn't even supposed to be there. She unlocked the door. I came in and told her to leave. She started yelling that I can't put the kids in school and all that stuff. Of course, right in front of the kids. They got all upset. She finally started to leave and my 9-year-old was holding on for dear life and crying. She went outside with her for a few minutes. Then, they both came in. My daughter was still crying and my STBX yelled at her. What do you want me to do? I think I flew across the living room. I don't know if my feet even touched the ground. I stepped in between them, opened the front door, and told her to get the duck out of my house. None of this would have happened if she had just discussed it like an adult in private instead of bringing it in front of the kids. It took a while to get the kids settled down. We ended up watching TV and eating popcorn. We discussed for a while that her mother and I were both very wrong for fighting in front of them. I made sure to reiterate again that our fighting has absolutely nothing to do with them. There is nothing they did to cause it and there is nothing they could have done differently to prevent it. I didn't say anything to her this morning at the changeover. I am still shaking mad that she would do that to our kids. I guess I am also guilty for not just walking away. Damn it. I hate it when she pushes my buttons and I screw up and continue to fight in front of the kids. Our interactions will be becoming fewer and fewer soon. Maybe we need to set up a neutral exchange point, as in her parents' house or something. I don't want to see her at all. Talked to her a bit last night about the papers. She thought they were ridiculous. I told her I don't care how she wants to play this out. The easy way or the hard way. In 6 months, I will be free from her for good. It's up to her to decide if the route to that final destination is easy or hard on her and the children. I don't care either way. She didn't like the fact that I put on the asset division that I get all of the collectibles. Most furniture, paintings, jewelry, etc. I also put me getting most of the debt. I told her I had originally said she keeps everything and the associated debt. She didn't like the debt idea, so I reworked it so that I get most of the assets and debt. I pointed out the bottom line. I am an accountant. The bottom line is 50-50. We can get there 1,000 different ways. We can bicker over who gets each individual Hummel and spend hours researching the fair market value of each said Hummel, or we can just agree on an estimated value of all of the stuff and be done with it. She seems to think she gets to keep all of her stuff. I keep all of the associated debt. She gets a fat alimony check for the rest of her life, etc. Wow, reality is going to hit her across the face with a 2x4 harder than the one she hit me with regarding the affair. I remained calm and pointed out facts. Like I told her, what I have proposed is very fair, if not slightly skewed in her favor. I'm willing to skew it slightly in her direction in order to avoid the legal fees, extra harm to our children, etc. If she does not agree and it goes to attorneys, she will receive less than what I am offering at this point. She has shown herself to be foolish for months with this affair. I believe she will be foolish and not accept my generous offer. I checked out a new bar that 2 of my new Facebook friends had down as a friend, Monday night. The very attractive bartender, whose divorce becomes final November 4th, got a call from her daughter who has asthma. She was freaking out since her breathing treatment was at the babysitter's house. I told her I'll go get it and take it to her. My son has asthma and I know how you feel. She called back and her daughter was doing better. Another bartender came in a few minutes and she left. I stopped back by last night to see if she was there. Her daughter was fine. We talked a bit. There was an attractive lady sitting next to me at the bar. After a bit, we started talking. She is a pre-med major and we talked about how intricate the human body was. I mentioned that happy tears and sad tears are chemically different. I was thinking, man, this is fun. An intelligent conversation with an attractive lady. Then, somehow something came out and I mentioned the divorce. I thought, great, here you are having a nice conversation with a pretty lady and you blow it by mentioning the divorce and kids. She's going to run for the door. She just looked at me and said, yeah, me too. She told me about her daughter and even showed me pics on her phone. Lol, she is also going through a divorce. Her husband cheated on her. Boys, this roller coaster ride looks like it may have a very fun ending. We didn't buy tickets for this ride. We have gone through hell on this ride. We deserve some fun and I believe it is coming for all of us. Now, what are the rules about dating afterward? Don't want a rebound relationship. Don't want to wait years to date. Set a limit up front. No more than 2 dates with a particular girl for at least a year. Does that sound feasible? I kind of like the new set of problems. There really is some light at the end of the tunnel. It went well last night. It was very interesting. I ran into a lady I'd met there a few weeks ago and played some pool. I did tell her someone may be meeting me there. One of her friends came over and we talked a while. She is recently divorced, with 3 kids. We hit it off pretty well. My friend showed up and we sat at the bar, talking and drinking for a while. It was nice to see her. She left to go to another bar, which she had already planned. She had stopped by this one to see me first. I ended up dancing with the recently divorced lady a few times. I also overindulged on the free long necks, I guess partly because I was pretty nervous. At some point, I didn't feel too good and went out to lay down in the van. I woke up several hours later and drove home. Lol, I haven't done that in a long time. I sent her a simple Facebook message earlier saying, "It was nice to see you last night." She responded, "You, too, I had fun." So, this is what detachment feels like. I wish I had started this process a lot sooner. Few months later, a lot has happened. Facebook took many hours of my time. Lol, I reconnected with a few lovely ladies that happened to be divorcing or divorced as well. I have come a long way since first posting on here. Tomorrow is the anniversary of D-Day for me. We spent some time together at Christmas. We had only seen each other in passing for months. Nothing happened and there was no talk of reconciliation on either part. Divorce was on track. Several events happened in the past couple of weeks or so. The process of separating the Christmas decorations into 2 groups was hard for her. Her words, the reality of divorce was setting in. I felt total peace with it. I actually had a couple of dates lined up. Then, she called and wanted to give the marriage a chance, if I would be willing. After a lot of thought and prayerful consideration, I decided to proceed with extreme caution. I also had a health scare. I have a heart defect that acted up. She was there and comforted me through it. We have gone on a couple of dates. Honesty has taken the place of deceitfulness. Intense I see is in place for her. At this time, I am supporting her and I see she is the mother of my children and I need her to be healthy. Whether the relationship will go anywhere is not important at this point in time. I'm in a much better place mentally and emotionally. I'll continue taking one day at a time. I hope all of you are doing well. Her true love is out of the picture for now. There has been some contact since she said she wants to come back. She was a total wreck last week. I actually considered, and she even mentioned it, having her committed. She knows there can only be me or him. She confessed to her slip of calling him. It's funny, because I knew as soon as she did it, there is no getting around the gut feeling. I've made it perfectly clear, if she wants him, she can have him. Go, if you want to go. Trying to have the cake and eat it too tore her in half in many ways. I just felt like posting an update today. I didn't mention one of the club trip's visits were before her trip to Colorado. That is a big reason I was willing to work on reconciliation after her return. Let all bitterness, and wrath, and anger, and clamor, and evil speaking be put away from you. With all malice, and be ye kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another even as God for Christ's sake hath forgiven you. I don't remember the book, chapter, and verse. I have committed these to memory and they are taped on my mirror. I read them often and repeat them to myself often. I was ready to divorce her, but I decided to give the love dare a shot. I was surprised. Actually, I've had it for a few years, but I thought it would just be really cheesy. It has actually taught me a lot about unconditional love. I know this goes against the grain for most of you. There is a lot of bitterness on this site. I have spewed out a whole lot of venom myself on here. I've been struggling very bad with a big trigger the past few days, but I have improved a lot over the past month or so. It has been a huge relief to not have anything hidden in a closet. Just coming clean and being honest has been very helpful. It has also made me see my actions through others' eyes. It was easy to justify my actions at the time. Bill Clinton told the whole world I did not have physical relations with that woman. That enforced the erroneous theory that BJs don't count, clubs are commonly accepted, etc. Now, I guard my mind closely to not have lustful thoughts. I have grown tremendously in several ways through this ordeal. I hope all of you are doing well on your journey through hell. I know there is no hope for my marriage as long as she holds on to anything related to that man. That is her choice to make. Nothing I do can force her to do it. I'm just working on becoming that man that I should be. Regardless of what happens to the marriage, I am a better man than I was before all of this garbage. That is the only thing I can control. My own personal growth. She does claim no contact with him and my gut says it is true. I'll know if it is not. I had forgotten one very important factor. I am a wayward spouse. Or was. Her D-Day was only a couple of months ago or so. My actions were quite a bit in the past, and there is no temptation on my part to ever go there again. I am quite disgusted with myself on the things I did, however. They are new to her. She is still dealing with that. We discussed it a good bit. It was a calm discussion and not a fight. I have done what is recommended for wayward spouses. I told the whole truth and nothing but the truth. I answered every single question promptly and honestly. No trickle truth. No covering up. Total and complete transparency. I have made many positive changes, but I have to give her time to process it. I can't push it. I was thinking about the case on here this morning of the couple where he had been posting for a while, and then she started a thread as well. I can't remember the names, but she seemed very remorseful. Then, more information came out that she had made out with when she had already said she had told the complete truth. I believe the last I heard that they had decided to split. No matter how remorseful she was. That was an understandable choice on his side. It is her choice. I do believe things are warming up, though it will be a slow road, but one I must travel. I did things I shouldn't have done. So I must pay the consequences of moving slowly. As one good friend keeps telling me, concentrate on the relationship and not the affair. Build a relationship that is solid and there will be no worry about any other men. If I hadn't been unfaithful as well, I suppose the hard road may be the way to go. But I was, so patience and understanding look to be the way to go. It has to come from her heart or it will be no good. I could force the issue on getting rid of the phone, but if it's not from her heart, she could just get another one. I have dug a very deep hole in the love bank department and it will take time to get a positive balance back. On a very positive note, she did give me an extremely uplifting compliment last night. Me being a WH has to do with the fact that she doesn't know if she wants to stay in a marriage to a man that has cheated on her for the whole marriage. I didn't get into the exaggeration of that statement. Whole marriage. I did discuss it a bit in a calm manner. Burning the minutes would feel good temporarily. So, with smashing the phone like I did the other one, that did feel good, actually. But she is right. The decision to give up the phone has to come from her heart or it's no good anyway. Her compliment that came later in the night tells me things are going in the right direction. There are changes taking place. I'll be patient and back off on the phone. Sometimes you have to pick your battles. I choose not to fight that one. She knows my stance, I know hers, as 8 years cheating has been telling me. Concentrate on the relationship and not the affair. Once the relationship is rock solid, none of that will matter. There will be no desire or need for any other men. 42 days ago, I was done. I picked up the love dare. I figured, why not give it a shot? I can stand on my head for 40 days. I thought it would be corny and stupid. I didn't think it would be any good. I was pleasantly surprised, actually. There have been very pleasant results. I'll continue with that path for now and be patient on the phone. It'll go soon enough. When I first confessed, I used the military as an excuse, to myself. Mainly. There was no excuse. It wasn't throughout the marriage, not that that makes it any better. There were a couple of times about a decade ago. Then, I went through a period of a couple of months or so during her open online affair period where I frequently took a long lunch to areas. I knew I could find some company. There were several during that short time frame. Once ever was way too many. I agree 100% on the reap what you sow part. I sowed and I believed I reaped an abundant harvest. I have learned a lot during this process. There were a lot of wrong thoughts that contributed to my actions. A lot of wrong ideas. It has been a painful experience. But one I have learned from. For what it's worth, I'm not cheating anymore. It has been well over a year since my little month or two of total idiocy. It has been well over a decade since my other couple of infractions. What I did was wrong. I am very remorseful and repentant. This is not the life I want. I put up with it hoping for change. I deserve it for sowing my seeds of stupidity. Or at least I thought I did. I did the crime and I have done the time. I do believe I have served a fair amount of time for my sins. I have forgiven her and she has not been able to forgive me. I have kept holding on thinking it will just take time. She has to go through the stages. I've been working through the stages longer than she has, so I should be patient and understanding. My comment. What a long story. Let me clarify what happened exactly. He cheated 2 times during their marriage while the wife was not betraying him, and then OP cheated the 3rd time while his wife was having an affair. That's why he struggled on confronting his wife, because he never confessed his own cheating in the first place till the very end. What a story. I think this is one of the rare ones where OP is at fault. I think he started all of this and his wife started her own emotional detachment after he stopped paying attention to her. You agree? What do you think about this ending? Sub and bell, and maybe it's time for some shorter stories.